Dear viewers, welcome to my YouTube video channel, We Like Anatomy. I am Professor Dr. Muhammad Ashfaqur Rahman. This is our explanatory anatomy session 5. Today my topic of explanation is why does myocardial pain go to the left side? Heart develops from primitive heart tube, and this tube is formed by the partial fusion of right and left endocardial heart tubes. This is the primitive heart tube which is formed by partial fusion of the right and left primitive endocardial heart tube. This is the primitive heart tube. Now I will divide this by an imaginary line into right and left half. The right half of this primitive heart tube gave rise to right heart. That means right atrium and right ventricle. And this right heart receives sympathetic supply mainly from the right side of the right side. And right heart receives blood supply from the right coronary artery. And the wall of this right heart is very thin because the right heart is related to right heart is concerned with pulmonary circulation, and the peripheral resistance in the pulmonary circulation is low in comparison to systemic circulation. So right heart does not need thick muscular wall to overcome this low peripheral resistance. That's why the wall thickness of the right heart is thin, relatively thin, and the blood flow to the right ventricle occur both during systole and diastole. So right ventricle receive blood supply both during systole and diastole. In fact, all the body structures receive blood supply during systole, but heart receive blood supply during diastole. This is the normal formula. But in comparison to other side of the heart, right ventricle also receive blood supply during systole, as the wall thickness is thin in the right ventricle. On the other hand, left half of the primitive heart tube gave rise to left heart. That means left atrium and left ventricle. This left heart receives sympathetic fibers mainly from the left side, and it receives blood supply from the left coronary artery. And left heart is concerned with systemic circulation, and in systemic circulation peripheral resistance is a bit high and more and more peripheral resistance. So left heart must overcome this high peripheral resistance. That's why the wall thickness of the left side of the heart is relatively thick in comparison to right side of the heart. So left side of the heart is in need of more blood supply than right side of the heart. But one problem is there. That is, the blood flow to the left ventricle occur only during diastole, not during systole, because during systole the blood vessels are squeezed in between the myocardium, the muscles. So left ventricle receive blood supply only during diastole. During systole, left ventricle receive no blood supply at all. That's why left ventricle normally remains in a risk situation of developing ischemia normally. Now, if the left coronary artery become occluded, then left ventricle suffers ischemia, because it was normally in the ischemic condition, in the risk situation for developing ischemia. That's why if left coronary artery is occluded, then left ventricle suffers ischemia. Pain is carried by the sympathetic fibers of the left side, and pain goes to the left side. Pain is referred or radiated to the left arm, left forearm, and left jaw, left shoulder, etc. But on the other hand, if the right coronary artery becomes occluded, then right ventricle suffers ischemia, and pain is carried by sympathetic fibers of the right side, and pain goes to the right side. So pain may go to the right side or pain may go to the left side. This depends on which part of the heart is suffering ischemia. If it is right side, then pain will go to the right side. If it is left side, then pain will go to the left side. But left side suffers more ischemia, as I have explained earlier, that left ventricle is in a risk situation because it receives blood only during diastole. So ultimately, more in left side of the heart suffers more ischemic attacks, and ultimately pain goes to the left side of the body. This is my explanation. Thank you for watching me, and subscribe my channel. We like anatomy. Goodbye.